On Sunday night, India Today got you details of how a young 23-year-old Bajrang Dal activist was stabbed to death in Shivamogga. And since then, there's been a lot of politics that's been playing out. Things have remained rather tense in Shivamogga district as well, which has prompted authorities to impose prohibitory orders to shut down schools and colleges today as well. We are getting you the latest updates from the ground on what's really playing out. And there are, of course, a lot of questions on why young Harsha, the Bajrang Dal activist, was killed. It's become a massive political slugfest as the BJP and the opposition parties are now trading blows, while Karnataka Minister K.S. Eshwarappa has said that the murder, in fact, took place because of Congress leader, Karnataka Congress Chief D.K. Shivkumar's provocative statement. Shivkumar has hit back, saying that a case should be registered against Eshwarappa instead. Meanwhile, a Facebook page called Mangalore Muslims has been booked by the Karnataka police for threatening and abusing Harsha. The page even called him a stray dog and accused him of insulting the Prophet back in 2015. In fact, this page had also, there was a threat post that was put up against Harsha, against the activist, back in 2015.
Well, it's 11 o'clock in the night and we are in the Sigehatti locality of Shivamogga. Now, the Deputy Commissioner of Shivamogga tells us that curfew has been imposed in Shivamogga town and surrounding areas, and only shops dealing with basic essentials will be allowed to be open. The rest are shut and there's absolutely no traffic on the road as of now. But security is tight. In fact, you have personnel from the Rapid Action Force, the RAF, present over here, along with members of personnel from the Karnataka State Reserve Police who are also present. Now, this area is a very, very sensitive area, and that's one of the reasons why you have personnel from both the RAF and the KSRP present. Now, in Sigehatti locality, where we are standing, we're just about 150 meters away from the victim's home. So as of now, everything is extremely peaceful. Now, throughout the day, there were various incidents across this locality of stone pelting, burning of bikes. And that's one of the reasons why you can clearly see as of now that the Rapid Action Force personnel are present, even though it is late in the night, to make sure that law and order is maintained. Now, when we spoke to the DC, he tells us that curfew or section 144 is imposed in Shivamogga town till 23rd morning. Schools and colleges were shut today, that is on Monday, will also be shut on Tuesday, so that students are safe. They do not come out until the situation in the city is safe. With video journalist Madhuar, Nolan Pinto for India Today.
Curfew has been imposed, sir?
Yes.
So this would be applicable for what, 24 hours, 48 hours?
We put it for till 23rd morning.
Okay. So when you're talking about curfew, it means that even essential services will be shut?
Yeah, not essential service. Basic things will be there. Other than that, all things will be shut.
So this will be till 24th morning?
23rd morning.
23rd morning.
And India Today is getting you a sense of what's playing out on the ground. Nolan Pinto is joining us live from Shivamogga. Nolan, good morning. We just played out your report from late last night, which showed that things were very much calm on the streets of Shivamogga. Take us through some of the steps that have been taken by the administration. We understand prohibitory orders in place. Today, schools and colleges will remain shut again.
Well, good morning, Akshita. Thankfully, today, as of now, the information that we are getting from our sources and also the police is that the situation on the ground is peaceful. Now, this is because of the deployment of extra police personnel from Bengaluru, from various other districts. In fact, last night, when we went throughout the city, we spoke to a few of the police officers and the constables over there. They had come from the surrounding districts of Shivamogga over here. So what the district administration has done has beefed up the police personnel. Every nook and corner of the city, as of now, barricades have been put up. Police personnel are present, and in sensitive areas, you have the Rapid Action Force personnel or the RAF personnel present over there. So this is what they have done. Apart from that, schools and colleges are shut. They have no other option. They will only reopen them. This is what the DC tells us once the situation comes back to normal, and they are hoping that if today everything is fine, is peaceful, then tomorrow schools and colleges will reopen once again. So as of now, people need not worry. The district administration has taken all measures to make sure that everything is safe in the city.
Okay, Nolan, request you to stay on with us. I just want to play out a conversation that India Today Shivarur had with BJP MLA Bharat Shetty on the Shivamogga situation.
Mr. Shetty, this particular incident, the horrifying murder of Harsha, certainly not the first killing on either side, but that's the one we're talking about right now. Are you saying that this is related to the hijab fight that has been on in Udupi and elsewhere? Because there is some confusion between the government and the BJP at this time.
No, it looks like it is related to the hijab issue, because there's a page called as Mangalore Muslims. They have been threatening him since 2015, I think, as far as I remember. Today also they have put that 2015 or 16 ka post, and they have told that we have done it this time. Now this issue, he has been threatened for a few other issues also from before, but now in his he has been very vocal about the hijab issue. So it looks like now it is about the hijab issues.
So you're saying that he was under threat since 2015. Can you tell us a little bit about the nature of these threats? Are these threats only coming to light now?
Yes, that's what I said. In that Mangalore Muslim, there's a page called as Mangalore Muslim on Facebook. Okay. In this page, they were threatening him for a few other reasons since years. But now, then it was, then there was nothing after that. But now he was posting few things about hijab. He was talking about hijab issues, it seems. So it looks like now it is because of the hijab issue.
Is this about elections, Mr. Shetty? Do you think, because there is a theory that all this communal polarization and divisions that are taking place is a script that is playing out before the elections next year in Karnataka?
See, that there might be something else going on also. It looks like that. Because when the CA issue came, a similar modus operandi was used by few fundamentalist organizations. And they were trying to push the situation so that it will go into a civil war kind of a situation. And it didn't. The government handled it properly. They could not, do anything about that. And COVID and all those things were there during that time. We can see a similar modus operandi this time also. They are keeping the, ladies, females in the front, and during the hijab issue also. They were trying to get people on the streets and, make a big issue of it.
Let's take this back across to Nolan Pinto. Nolan, so far, the communication from the government, from the Chief Minister and the Home Minister, is that they don't see any link between the murder of young Harsha and the entire hijab controversy. But there have been several claims, like the Facebook page of a group called Mangalore Muslims, which referred to Harsha being part of a 2015 protest, issuing a threat to him. Then, do they then believe, and is the investigating agencies now looking into that angle as well, about whether actually he's been targeted for his anti-hijab stance?
Well, Akshita, the police will be looking into various angles. No doubt yesterday in the morning, when the Home Minister had come to Shivamogga after this incident, we asked him about whether there's any sort of connection or link to the hijab issue. And he says personally he does not believe, but it's left to the police to go about with their investigation. Even the Chief Minister concurred with the Home Minister. But as of now, in this particular issue, the information we have is that a Shivamogga case has been registered in the Cyber Economic and the Narcotics Offences Police Station in Mangalore on a complaint by the head constable over there of the social media division. So we'll have to wait and see how exactly this particular case pans out, because as of now, 3 individuals, assailants have been, or the accused have been arrested. One is supposed to be hailing from Shivamogga itself. We still do not have information about the other 2. And yesterday, the district in charge minister of Shivamogga in the night stated that 2 more individuals, or the assailants, are on the radar of the police and they should be arrested soon. So more information will tumble out of the closet once they actually secure and question them.
That's right. So more arrests expected today as well as the investigation progresses. Nolan, for the moment, thank you very much for joining us with all of those updates from Shivamogga. Now, with several such revelations coming to the fore that this Bajrang Dal activist was facing threats and was threatened by a Facebook page years ago, here's what activist Rashmi Samant had to say on this entire issue.
You've put out a series of tweets claiming that that Harsha was a targeted individual, that the groups based in Mangalore were after his life in the past as well. We at India Today, have no such information. But by going by what you've tweeted, can you tell us a little bit more? Is there any proof of that? You've basically said that there were certain hardline groups in Mangalore that had their eyes on this individual, this youth, from as far back as 2015. Can you corroborate and substantiate that?
Yeah, I can actually. So there's a Facebook page by the name of Mangalore Muslims, which as of, I think, an hour ago was still up and active and visible to everybody. They had put up a fatwa, a post amounting to a fatwa back in 2017 with the picture of Harsha, with his details, with everything, and kind of inciting people to go after him. And there was this post back in 2015, and just a few hours ago they put out a post again saying that a Hindu street dog, Harsha, has been killed, and they kind of they're approving of this killing, of this merciless murder. They're also acknowledging the 2015 post that they made in that post. So it's clear as day that this has been premeditated, and this is a premeditated murder, and this sort of extremist sentiments have been festering for a really long time, and this is not something that happened sporadically. So they've had their eyes on this boy for a really long time, and they finally did it now. So I think this is premeditated murder, and this kind of extremism should have no space in our society. The kind of political...
I'll come to the politics in a moment, Rashmi, but do you believe, because the Bombay government says that there is no visible link with the hijab protests that have been happening. We do know that, and we have pictures. We'll put those pictures on your screen. As I'm talking, we'll show those pictures of young Harsha at one of those protests on February the 7th, if I'm not mistaken, at the Sahyadri College, which was, on the day when the violent protests actually took place in the state. Let me put out that picture of this young man at those protests. He even posted that on Facebook. With everything that you've seen, Rashmi, before I go to the politicians, do you believe this murder had something to do with Harsha being involved in those protests, or was there something bigger?
From the signs that I see, I think his presence at the protest was the last straw. The extremists part of, society has always had an issue with his Hindu activism. But the fact that he was so actively present at the hijab protest was the last sort of straw. But that being said, I would also want to give the police the space to carry out a formal investigation and come out with the results. But my honest opinion is that it does have something to do with it. There's a clear link because it's been consistent, and this was the last straw that finally made it happen.
Okay.
That finally, made this happen.
Okay.
I will continue getting you more such voices here on India Today. I just want to quickly get you a report now on all the updates that have come in on this story. Several arrests have been made. And remember that the murder of this Bajrang Dal activist has happened at a time when districts like Shivamogga have already been very, very tense due to the hijab controversy and the debate on that. And the question everyone's asking right now is whether the murder of 23-year-old Harsha is actually linked to the hijab controversy, to his anti-hijab stance.
Shivamogga is on the edge. Schools and colleges are shut. A curfew is imposed as tensions rise over the murder of Bajrang Dal worker Harsha.
So when you're talking about curfew, it means that even essential services will be shut?
Yeah, not essential service. Basic things will be there. Other than that, all things will be shut.
So this will be till 24th morning?
23rd morning.
23rd morning.
There is high security all around amid the threat of violence. Harsha's death has divided the state, which was already split apart by the hijab showdown. Harsha's family is in shock.
ಹೌದಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ಅವನಿನ್ನೇನೇನು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ನು ಹಿಂದೂ, ಅವ್ನು ಜೈರಾಮ್ ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ. ನನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನ್ನ. ಹೆತ್ತೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಸರ್? ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಕ್ರೂರಿಗಳಿದಾರ? ಮನುಷ್ಯತ್ವ ಮಾನವೀಯತೆಗೆ ಬೆಲೆನೇ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಮಕ್ಳಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಅವರು ಹೆತ್ತಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, 1-2 ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ ಸರ್ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ? ಎಲ್ಲಾರ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಆಚೆ ಹೋದವ್ರು ಒಳಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಹೇಳಿ? ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದ್ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಹುಡ್ಗ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಇರೋ ನನಗೆ ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಹರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೂ ಅಂತ ಹೆಸರಿಟ್ಟು
ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಮ್ ದೇಶ ಕಣಮ್ಮ. ಮನೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಕೇಸರಿ ಶಾಲೆ ಇದಾವ ಸರ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿರೋ ಬರೀ ಕೇಸರಿ ಶಾಲು ಮನೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದಾವೆ. ಮದ್ವೆ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ ಕಣೋ. ಸುಮ್ನಿರಮ್ಮ, ನನ್ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಸಾಯ್ಬೇಕು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ಯಾ ನೀನು ನಿನ್ ಮದ್ವೆ? ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹಿಂಗೆ.
The police have made the first arrests in the murder case. 2 suspects held have been identified as Kashif and Nadeem.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ತನಿಖೆಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ನು ವರದಿ ಬರಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ. ಕೆಲವರನ್ನ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವರನ್ನ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್. ಈಗ ಸ್ಥಳದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. 3 ಜನ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಟ್ಟು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ವಿಚಾರಣಾ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಆ ಸ್ಥಳಗಳನ್ನ ಈ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಾಯ್ ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ.
Police are tracking 2 more suspects.
किसका सपोर्ट है ये पता चलेगा. सपोर्ट बिगर हुआ नहीं है, सपोर्ट हुआ है. किसी का सपोर्ट बिगर तो ये काम होना मुश्किल है. क्यों करें? इतना छोटे लोग इतना बड़ा हादसा करने के लिए उन लोग को हिम्मत कैसा हुआ है, पता जरूर लगेगा.
Harsha's murder has sparked a fresh round of political sniping. Karnataka Minister Eshwarappa, already facing the heat after saying that the saffron flag may replace the tricolour one day, has alleged that stones were pelted on the funeral procession of Harsha. The opposition has called for the Home Minister's resignation over the law and order situation. The BJP is demanding an NIA investigation into the murder of the Bajrang Dal worker. Saffron groups are also linking the killing to the ongoing hijab face-off in the state. The government says the investigation so far has not revealed any link. With Nolan Pinto, Bureau Report, India Today.
And leave it to our politicians to further vitiate the charged atmosphere in Shivamogga. Since the news broke of the murder of the Bajrang Dal activists, you've got every political party jumping into the fray, trying to score political brownie points off this tragic death. While the government has maintained that as of now, there's no link that's been established between the hijab controversy and this murder, there were several others who decided to link the two.
With only 14 months to go for the Karnataka election, the communal tension in the state has escalated again. Rocked this time by the death of a Bajrang Dal activist in Shivamogga. 23-year-old Harsha stabbed to death on Sunday night, sparking a fierce whodunit in Karnataka. A state in the wake of the continuing and fiery hijab showdown. The brutal murder of Harsha has triggered a war of words between the BJP and the Congress and a law and order situation on the ground. The government claims that as of now, there is no link between the hijab protesters and the murder of Harsha.
From yesterday night, the whole thing has been, investigation has been started. There are some clues and the investigation is going on. I have got information that they got some leads. Probably they will take up to the logical conclusion very shortly.
23 ವರ್ಷದ ಯುವಕ ನಡೆದು ಬರುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆನ್ನಟ್ಟಿ ಅವನು ಓಡಿಸಾಡಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನೇಕ ಇಂಜುರಿಗಳು ಅವನ ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ತುಂಬಾ ದುರದೃಷ್ಟಕರವಾಗಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ಇನ್ಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಇದು. ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಡೆಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
But BJP leaders have drawn a direct link between the hijab showdown and Harsha's death, claiming he was targeted for his anti-hijab stance. Minister K.S. Eshwarappa claims that Muslim goons got emboldened by Congress State President D.K. Shivamogga, a charge that prompted a strong retort.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ್ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಳು ಕೊಲೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಶಿವಮೊಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂದೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರ ಬಾಲ ಬಿಚ್ಚಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದರೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ಈ ಧ್ವಜದ ವಿಚಾರ ಬಂದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಶಾಲೆಯ ಮೈದಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಧ್ವಜವನ್ನು ಇಳಿಸಿ ಭಗವದ್ ಧ್ವಜವನ್ನು ಏರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 50 ಲಕ್ಷ ಶಾಲ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಕೇಸರಿ ಶಾಲನ್ನು ಸೂರತ್ನಿಂದ ತಂದು ಹಂಚಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಲಾರಿಗಳು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಚೋದನಕಾರಿ ಹೇಳಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಡಿ.ಕೆ. ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿಕೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೋ ಅದು ಈ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ್ ಗೂಂಡಾಗಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯ ಕುಮ್ಮಕ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ.
I have no way connected to all these activities. We are only fighting for our national flag and the constitution. Apart from that, we are not. Though he spoke some nonsense in the assembly, I have not provoked or I have not spoken on that issue. I don't want it to make it a political issue. Political issues will be settled at the elected course. Now it is the pride of our country.
BJP CT Ravi added fuel to the fire with this tweet, saying Muskan was safe but Harsha was killed, referring to the Mandya girl who refused to back down when cornered and heckled by saffron-clad students.
मुझे लगता है एक साजिश है. साजिश करके उनका हत्या किया है. सीरियस इंक्वायरी होना चाहिए और उसके पीछे कौन कौन है सभी को अंदर डालना, सीरियस इंक्वायरी करना. जरूरत है तो एनआईए को केस हैंड ओवर करना. एनआईए को.
The opposition meanwhile has pinned the blame on the government, accusing them of vitiating the atmosphere and mishandling the hijab row.
This is their achievement. Both Congress and BJP, I think, instead of showing pity on them, they can enjoy now. They achieved to destabilize the peace of this state.
The youngster has been murdered by 6 people. Now I condemn this murder because we believe in non-violence. We believe in non-violence. Congress party is for non-violence. Whoever there as accused persons in this murder case, they must be booked.
Amidst tensions and protests in Shivamogga, politicians in Karnataka are now jumping the gun to draw a link to the hijab row and thereby gain political brownie points from the tragic killing of Harsha. The government and police's constant appeals to stop provoking locals seems to have fallen on deaf ears. With Nolan Pinto in Shivamogga, Karnataka, Bureau Report, India Today.